All right, so Saturday night after the epic UFC 300, at the press conference, Dana White announced some massive fights that are going to go down. They have the mixed martial arts and the UFC community absolutely salivating. Okay, of course, he announced 3 massive matchups, and those are Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier, Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa, and the return, the one and only Conor McGregor. The Mac is back after 3 years away from the octagon.
Surprise, surprise, motherfucker! The king is back!
And of course, he's taking on Michael Chandler.
June 1st, Newark, New Jersey pay-per-view. Main event, Islam versus Poirier. Co-main event, 5 rounds, Strickland versus Costa. June 29th, Conor versus Chandler. Woo! 5 rounds, 170 pounds.
So we're going to talk about all of those fights. We're going to talk about UFC 302. So let's get started. Let's get into it. So UFC 302 goes down June 1st in Newark, New Jersey. The Prudential Center. For them myself, nice, big, gigantic arena. Main event, Islam Makhachev, the pound-for-pound #1 fighter on the planet. Last time we saw him knocked out Alexander Volkanovski in stunning fashion, okay? Closed the door on that rivalry and established himself firmly as the pound-for-pound #1. Remember, Volkanovski, when he lost to Islam via decision, was still ranked at #1 in the pound-for-pound rankings. That had to piss off Islam Makhachev, but still, he knocked him out in the rematch, so there we go. Taking on Dustin Poirier, right? Dustin Poirier, a fan favorite. We know that he skipped the line, if you will. He's ahead of Justin Gage now. Justin went out there, took on Max Holloway, an incredible fight. We all saw it. It was unbelievable. One of the greatest performances we've ever seen from Max Holloway or from any fighter at all, to be quite frank. And fair play to Justin Gage. He rolled the dice, and sometimes in this sport, you got to dare to be great. And sometimes you roll the dice, and it doesn't pay off. He took a risk, fair play. He lost, so now he's out of title contention. So in steps Dustin Poirier, the diamond. And the real question here is, will this be the one? Will this be the time when Dustin Poirier actually becomes the undisputed lightweight champion of the world? The reality is, time is closing. The door is going to shut soon on Dustin Poirier. He's a fan favorite. We love the way he fights. We love the attitude. We love how he is. But he's 35 years old. He's had an absolutely legendary, epic career. He became the interim lightweight champion when he defeated Max Holloway. That was way back in 2019, okay? Becoming lightweight champion is something that he is obsessed with, okay? It is a fire that burns very strongly within him. I spoke to him after he lost to Khabib for the undisputed belt in Abu Dhabi, and he's like, I ain't done. I ain't giving up. And he was very kind. He was very respectful. He said, Michael, you actually inspired me the way that you were able to win the title at 37. So that inspires me, and I'm not going to give up. Now, listen, we know he went out there. He lost to Justin Gage for the BMF. Got knocked out in brutal fashion. Stunning head kick knockout from Justin. That kind of derailed things. That put Justin as the #1 contender. But this sport's all about what have you done for me lately. Against Benoit Saint-Denis at UFC 299, put on a ridiculous performance. Was almost finished multiple times. Benoit Saint-Denis was like a dog with a bone. Super aggressive. Set the arena on fire, right? And then he got knocked out. And what a shot it was. Those right hooks from Dustin Poirier got the job done in the second round. And everyone went crazy. All right, so there it is. For the time being, Justin Gage is out. I do believe that with one good win, which of course you can get many, many good wins. The man's one of the best on the planet. Justin Gage is out for the time being. Dustin Poirier's in. And that's just the way it is. So, as we know, when we look at Dustin Poirier, beat Benoit, lost to Justin, beat Michael Chandler, lost to Charles, beat Conor McGregor twice, and beat Dan Hooker, okay, in a back-and-forth 5-round decision. All of those fights that I just said that have taken place, 7 high-profile fights have all taken place since 2020. And the man is on an absolute roll. And one thing we know about him, taking those shots against Benoit Saint-Denis, the chin is more than fine. World-class boxing. Look at those knockouts over McGregor. And great grappling, great wrestling, good jiu-jitsu, black belt down there. The hot sauce king. And he's just an incredible fighter with a massive heart. But can he beat Islam Makhachev? Well, we will find out on the night. It's too soon to tell. But UFC 302 is going to be phenomenal because that's just the main event, right? Dustin Poirier, could you believe it? What an absolute fitting end that would be to his career. To beat Islam, become the undisputed champion, the MMA community would lose their mind, and of course he would stick around and defend that belt. But if he loses, regrettably, that's probably going to be the last attempt that he would ever get. So that's the main event. Super excited for that one, but I'm really excited for the co-main event as well. Sean Strickland, it's my own division, the middleweight, the 185. Sean Strickland, the former champion, is coming back, okay? Said he was going to wait on the sidelines, was kind of demanded a rematch, said he was going to go box or something. To be honest, he was spitting his dummy out a little bit and having a bit of a sulk because he felt that he won. Dana thought that he won. Lots of people online thought that he won, but it was a close fight and it could have gone either way. Sadly for him that night, he never got the job done. And you got to fight. You got to keep it going. You got to keep stating your case. You got to keep saying to the world, hey, listen, give me a title fight. I'm one of the best in the world. And that's exactly what Sean Strickland is doing here because he's taking on none other than boy cheater, Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa, number one, Mr.
Secret Jewel
himself. Number two, he's absolutely hilarious on social media. And number three, the man is ferocious inside the octagon. I am telling you, this is a close fight. Respect to Sean Strickland for taking it because Paulo Costa's no walk in the park. Sure, he's never been the champion, but he excites audiences every single time he fights. Last time out at UFC 298 against Robert Whittaker, lost the fight, but made Robert Whittaker work for it. Almost knocked him out with that spinning wheel kick at the end of round one. Phenomenal kick. The left high kicks were ridiculous. The chin is phenomenal. The takedown defense is some of the best we've seen. He was able to stop most of the takedowns from the Olympic medalist, Yoel Romero. I love you. I love you, man. All-round skills are phenomenal. He's been 5 rounds many times. Before that fight, he beat Luke Rockhold, lost to Marvin Vettori and lost to Israel Adesanya. That was the only time he's fought for the belt. Against Israel Adesanya, he never showed up. Or maybe Israel was just that great because Israel was on fire. Paulo Costa wasn't, okay? The secret juice was not working. Whatever it is that he was trying to do was not working. The approach, the game plan, the strategy, the output, right? Nothing worked, okay? Israel Adesanya made short work of him. And then I think he kind of lost his way a little bit, lost his mind a little bit.
You've been drinking a little bit?
Not yet.
No, yeah.
Showed up against Marvin Vettori, 20 pounds overweight, so they had to move it up to 205. That was a bit crazy, but it was a super exciting fight. And even though he missed weight, right, came in 20 pounds heavier, he pushed the pace. He still went 5 rounds. And Marvin Vettori took and ate some ridiculously heavy shots. I was calling that fight, and the noise and the thud of those kicks when they were hitting each other really was something to behold. So that is a crazy fight, okay? Paulo Costa hits harder. I'm telling you right now. That's my opinion anyway.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
I've trained with Sean Strickland. He's got very good boxing. We know that. We saw that when he beat Israel Adesanya, the best performance of his career. Almost finished him in the first round, right? He will go out there. He will fight
Dick to dick, nipple to nipple.
but his style is behind the jab. Paulo Costa is going to come forward a lot. I think Paulo Costa hits harder, but I think Sean has an advantage with the cardio. Let's remember, this is a 5-round main event. That is a significant advantage for Sean Strickland because he has an economic style. Paulo Costa swings with everything he has. Spinning wheel kicks, left high kicks that are just so fast and explosive, but they require a lot of energy. When he punches, he's loading up. He's looking for the knockout every single time because he does damage. Remember Luke Rockhold? Absolutely covered in blood, okay? But when you swing with that much output, that is not an economical style, and you will slow down a bit. However, Paulo has shown the ability to push through it, okay? But still, with all that said, it favors Sean Strickland. So Sean has got a great chin, right? He's not the type of guy that's getting knocked out. He went to a decision with Dricus du Plessis that a lot of people thought he won.
I had it 2-2 going into the last round, and I thought Strickland won the last round.
And guess what? Dricus du Plessis, before Sean, was knocking out everybody, Robert Whittaker included. Yes, Sean has been knocked out, but he's fought in the UFC for a long time. He's actually been knocked out twice. He got knocked out against Alex Pereira. No shame in that. The man just knocked out bloody Jamal Hill with the sickest left hook ever. And then against Eliseo Zalesko dos Santos, right? But that would have knocked a train out. That would have knocked a dinosaur out. That was a beautiful pitch perfect spinning wheel kick right to the dome, heel to the face. And that was that. No shame. And that was at welterweight, remember. At welterweight, cutting all of that weight, you're more susceptible to a knockout. So, fantastic fight. UFC 302 is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And the rest of the card is shaping up nicely. So, starting at the bottom, Okay, now we're here. Jocelyn Edwards versus Eileen Perez. Grant Dawson versus Joe Selecki. Phil Rowe versus Jake Matthews. That's a good one. Phil Rowe's an explosive striker. Jake Matthews is a phenomenal fighter. Very, very well-rounded. The Australian. The return of New Jersey's own Mickey Gall taking on Basil Hafez. Roman Dolidze, the crazy Georgian, taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, making the return after that amazing victory at UFC 298. Nico Price versus Jeremiah Wells. And then, of course, the co-main event, Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa. And then the main event, Islam Makhachev, the pound-for-pound #1 going up against the Diamond, the fan favorite, the man that is looking to claim what he feels is rightly his, the lightweight championship of the world in his last ever chance. That's going to make him dangerous, extra switched on, and it's going to be one hell of a fight. Wow. I'm not even going to talk about Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler.
We're going to fight right now? We're going to do this right now? Right here and right now?
I'll do that on another video. The reality is, it's almost 11 o'clock at night here. I'm absolutely exhausted. Busy weekend at UFC 300. Tons of storylines. I'm going to be talking about everything. So subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't done so yet. Please leave a comment as well. That helps the algorithm. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.